What's up, fellow teens? Welcome to another episode of Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die. Not a threat.
Just a fact. Sam, also wrong podcast.
I don't care. I did that on purpose. I'm Sam, aka Landfill Cosby.
I'm Matt, aka SJW Club 7.
I am Evan, aka P in Miles Dong.
And I'm Linus, aka SJW Bush.
Good.
Thank God.
How's everyone doing today?
My audio interface doesn't work, so if anyone notices that I sound slightly choppier, it's because I'm on a desktop mic right now.
Is this gonna be a bad episode?
No, because I'm gonna get extremely mad, and it's very good when I get mad.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Let's be
some
real
stuff.
here. They're all bad episodes.
That's
Yeah,
also
that's
true.
true.
But like, I mean, has this week? I know every week in this hell world that we live in feels like several months, but I feel like this week in particular has been particularly taxing.
Yeah.
I mean, the one upside is that it's finally not fucking snowing here.
Yeah, all of a sudden, is it just me or does every spring happen like this? Like within a week we go from like -10 to just +20 every single day?
It's like the weather's telling me to fuck my emotional bullshit.
Yeah.
I love that EP. Thank you, Matt.
Get it? Because I said snowing? Get it?
I get
Sam?
it. I do get it. It's good. My Lightbringer this week is snowing.
Does
Now,
it even
okay,
snow where you are?
A little bit. Let's address the elephant in the room, okay? I'm the only one here who's not Canadian.
Yeah.
You're the only one who is not specifically in Sudbury, Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all in the exact same city, too. That's the worst fucking part.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you just recording this in the same room?
That's a good fucking question.
No, it's not. I can't imagine recording a podcast in the same room as someone else because I have to take my pants off to record a podcast.
Yeah.
Like dick out?
No, not dick out. Dick in.
Dick in who?
I put my own asshole, like we talked about 2 episodes ago. I was trying it out. It was great, and it just really. I think it just gets me in a better mindset for podcasting.
I'm quitting
No,
the
it's
podcast.
been in 2 episodes now, so this is like officially HKIP lore.
Yeah.
We're
Sam
gonna put this
put
on a,
E
we're gonna
dick
put
in
this
own
on a shirt.
asshole.
This is the wiki, the thing that I just said.
I'm really glad that we've made such a good and serious podcast about the issues and about leftism. Because what's more leftist than fucking your own ass?
It's juche, it's self-reliance.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that makes it... Shit, is it libertarian to fuck your own ass?
I'm afraid it might be.
Oh man, what
I
have we
think it
stumbled upon?
actually is libertarian.
This is...
There's left and right libertarians.
Or is it
That's true.
Ann Prim? Whatever the fuck Ann Prim is.
Well, no, because I had to invent a technological marvel device to make it possible.
I mean,
And
I
no,
feel
I
like
won't
this is
tell
a
you.
very bad conversation specifically
Yeah.
for Lesbians Day.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's
Remember
like,
when?
by the way, yes, happy birthday to all our various lesbian hosts and friends of the show, including
Yeah.
and especially friend of the show, Roy.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Happy-
on getting on starting to be a married.
Yeah.
We
Oh
love
yeah.
you.
Today we are all lesbians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said that for Luna, who's going to be very mad at me for saying it.
yeah, of course.
Every episode Luna's not on, everyone just focuses all their energy on making her as mad as possible when she listens to the episode.
There's also we also kind of do that for Brooks when he's not on.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing more satisfying than one of the other hosts posting in the channel the next day something in all caps. I feel like that's the ideal reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever Josh isn't on and I am, just know that I'm doing the circle thing with my fingers at him into my microphone.
Should we attach that as the episode art this week?
Yeah.
Oh God. No, because that would be bullying all of our listeners.
Oh, that's fair. Do we want to talk about any of the things that happened?
Not really.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Let's cover the issue.
I mean, we've already talked about wood a little bit. That can move us right into the next topic.
Oh yeah.
that one hurt a bit, Matt.
Let me level with you. I am not prepared to talk about anything except Kanye.
Okay.
It's the only thing I've been following this week.
Sam's
ready
just
for
gonna
our new
clock
hour
out.
of Kanye content?
Yeah.
Kanye content?
Yeah, you got this.
Okay, so
No, keep going.
Wait, what?
Scott Pruitt. What was it? What was the name you landed
don't
on
know.
in that episode?
I don't know. It was so far from his name.
It's like
I'm trying to remember what we replaced his first name with.
was
It
it
was Potty.
Potty Pruitt?
Oh, it's Potty Poo shit.
I think it was Potty Pee Poo shit.
Yeah, there we go. We got it.
But I don't know where the P came from.
Just an
I
extra
mean-
one.
Got him.
Yeah.
We did get him though. At the end of the day. You
Yeah.
gotta
So
admit.
apparently, the burning wood is carbon neutral.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's
I
how that
mean-
works.
I feel like it's only technically it's carbon
I'm not a
neutral in
scientist.
that the law of conservation of mass means there is just as much carbon before and
exactly.
afterwards.
Well, that's not what the law of conservation of
Yeah.
mass says, but as a not scientist, I agree. So moving on to our next topic.
Kanye West.
Kanye.
I mean, we might as well.
Why is this episode so
Do we
bad?
want to save Kanye for like? I feel like that's going to be the most funny.
Yeah, I think we should probably
Just
get
end
like
it on
a
the
light
really
note,
bad
yeah.
things out of the
Sure.
way, like the many
Sure.
bad things out of the
Yeah.
way.
Let's take the shot first, and then like take a nice long swig of like Kanye Chaser.
You're doing what in Kanye then?
The Toronto van attack, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Time to get very mad online. Okay.
All right, so it's about time for us to get very mad online.
Finally.
Yeah, no, it's like we've never been mad online before. So,
Finally, we get to talk about bad news and violence and killings at long last.
right? So, in Canada,
Yep.
in the city of Toronto, where I was on the weekend, there was a attack on a bunch of pedestrians by a guy in a van. So that's where the story started, and there's been a lot of essentially praise in the news for like media organizations that aren't the Sun and cops in the aftermath of this for basically just doing their jobs.
Yeah. Like
Because like Canadian news media did a pretty good job in general of not like immediately running with any single like narrative before the facts were known,
yeah.
which was good, but at the same time that shouldn't be praiseworthy.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like the cop not shooting him. Like and
yeah,
then, like
that was
like the guy was very clearly trying to get this cop to shoot him. Like he got out of the car and held, I think it was a cell phone on him, like it was a gun. And there's a video in which he can be heard shouting, "Kill me," and the cop yells just back, "No." And everyone was like, I've saw so many pieces on like in the aftermath of this attack, the cop who didn't shoot, and like it's a good thing that this is how this went down, but this is how this is like just a cop doing their job properly. This should not be like, a miracle that this managed to
This
happen.
literally only
I
fucking went
think-
down this way because the guy was not of dark skin.
Yeah.
I think the cop deserves even less credit for that because I think he just got reverse psychologied. Because the guy was saying "kill me" and he was like, "Well, fuck you, I won't do it then." You
Yeah.
know?
Man, maybe that's how we got to do it.
Yeah, you just
Maybe
yell
you
at the
just
cop
need
to
to walk
kill
up
you.
to cops and say "kill me," and then
Yeah.
they
Well,
won't.
they're
Then
gonna
it's
be like,
like,
"No,
"Ah,
I'm
damn
above
it."
you. I'm not gonna. Why? I'm not listening to you. Fuck you."
They're gonna be like, "Shit, bamboozled." I can't believe
No,
we
in
got
fact,
trolled.
I'm gonna kill myself. Ha! I bet you'd hate that.
Is this the direct action we need? Hypnotic suggestion?
Mhm.
That's. Yep. This is our praxis. We finally found it.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so it turns out there was like a Facebook post visible from the guy's account, where he gave a lot of praise to like the various incel communities.
Can I just read it?
You can if you have it handy.
I've got it right here, and he this was confirmed to be from his account. I think what I saw in the news is it's confirmed from his account, but it's not like clear whether or not he wrote it, even though like he probably did.
Yeah.
This is gonna be really bad to listen to.
It says,
Uh-huh.
Private Recruit. How do you pronounce his name? Manassian? Anyway, Private Manassian, Infantry 10, wishing to speak to Sergeant 4chan, please. And then there's a number. The Incel Rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the Supreme Gentleman, Elliot Roger.
Oh God, just fuck your own ass like I do.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, that one thing I wanted to mention specifically, since it was brought up in his post, is Elliot Roger, because they're doing the trial and cross-examination of Alexandre Bissonnette, the guy who shut up the mosque in Quebec. And he also gave inspiration points to Elliot Roger and the Isla Vista shooting. So
Elliot
I'm glad
Roger,
that we just have, this is...
That's fucking horrible.
Right? So, we have these two of the largest, mass, bystander killing events in Canada, basically since the 80s. And the one that happened in the 80s was also a guy that was fundamentally an incel.
Yep.
Because he shot a bunch of women who got into an engineering school he didn't get into, because women wouldn't fuck him, and he didn't get into this engineering school because he thought feminists were out to get him. And,
I think toxic masculinity might be bad.
I mean, I fucking wish I lived in the world the people writing all these think pieces about incels live in, where they weren't fucking aware of this shit their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, we were all at points lonely internet men, and you can definitely see where, where this shit comes from.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't really identify with how bad it does get for these guys, but, I know where it starts.
I mean, I literally just a few days ago, I had a Facebook memory come up where I was talking about how much I hate feminists. And Matt, you liked the post when I made it
that's sure
7 years ago.
We unlearned this stuff, and we basically, got out before we got as bad as it could possibly get here.
It's scary, dude. I do think about that a lot. What could I have become, Because I definitely was... I was very at risk for that kind of stuff. Obviously not anything violent like this, I hope, but I definitely was in a lot of those circles, and I was very the rhetoric made a lot of sense to me, but
I think what it was with me is that I never quite crossed the line to taking, the realization that these guys never have is that they're the problem. And the way they act is the problem, and the way they think about women is the problem.
Yeah.
And I feel like just having that measure of self-awareness is most of what it took to, get out of that pattern of thinking. And just think, I need to improve myself in some way.
Yeah. I actually can't remember these days, what it was that turned me around, but...
Yeah,
it's probably...
me either. It honestly seems... I'll try to think back, and I'll be I'm not going to pretend I was always enlightened or anything, but it seems so seems so backwards. I can't even try to think like that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, for all of its faults, I do think that being on Tumblr did eventually ultimately turn me away from shithead right-wing bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
For my shitty beliefs, definitely it was being on Tumblr and Twitter and on social media where I could figure out the problems with what I was thinking and what I was believing and learning about what the answers were.
Yeah, Tumblr is the perfect website. We can all agree.
That's what I'm saying
people
here.
Who only hang out on forums end up Nazis. It's just facts.
I mean,
right. Because you need to be able to make quote posts.
Yeah, that's literally it. Stormfront got shut down, didn't it?
Something like that. What if Reddit...
Did you hear the thing about Stormfront where they found out that, the head admin or whatever, who was paying for the hosting, it was, all his wife's money?
Yeah, no, I did.
And I think that's what happened, that she cut off the money because she couldn't take it anymore or something like that. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Don't fact check me.
I think it's
better to not fact check you, because just that idea is really funny, and I feel like I don't want to, leave that.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of the Stormfront user base being I can't believe feminism cucked Stormfront.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole attitudes around this stuff, and like the fact that it hasn't been taken seriously at all, despite the fact that like Elliot Rodgers' manifesto was very that.
Mm-hmm.
Like essentially, like there's a Muslim shooter or a black shooter, and people are they're always trying to look for like the larger picture. But whenever there's a shooter that seems to have like a lone wolf motive like this, they never like look to where these people essentially get radicalized in their own way. Because like I was trying to have my friend Emma come on today, but unfortunately she wasn't able to make it because she was protesting a bunch of like men's rights activists who were doing speeches on campus. Like back before like the campus protests against like MRAs and like shithead Nazis were like super big and popular and covered nationally. Like she was like part of just a small group of students protesting like a Voice for Men, if you guys are familiar with that organization at all.
Oh, I am unfortunately familiar with A Voice for Men.
Yeah, they are very big in Toronto. They are extremely big in Toronto. And essentially what ended up happening to her is that she was like widely doxxed. Despite the fact that she wasn't like a protest leader or anything, she's just the person whose name they managed to find. So like you Google her name and you're going to find all this like feminism mudslinging. And like they're essentially trying to make it so she could never get a job again. Which fortunately didn't work.
Awful.
And like no one was taking this seriously then. U of T did nothing. Toronto police did nothing. And this is the kind of shit that comes out of it. Like when you let these guys just coalesce together in their disgusting bullshit, then it gets worse.
Makes sense to me.
People seem to be more aware of it. Like, I mean, I've been having the most surreal week because, like, people who, like, at work, like, you know, normies, have been, like, talking to me and being like, what's incel? Or, like, ask me, and I'm like, oh, my God, well, like, having to get right into it because it's, like, people are, like, aware of it. Like, fucking CNN is, like, reporting on it. And so, like, it's actually, like, entering the consciousness in a way that it didn't, like, when Elliot Rodger happened and when, like, shit before this has happened. So, like, I think that's mainly because, like, of the climate and how, like, there's a lot more attention being paid to, like, shit like this, like, predatory shit that men do. So, I mean,
you know it's bad when Reddit is deleting the subreddits.
What if Reddit just cleaned fucking house? Like, Reddit panics.
Nope, it won't.
And they just delete everything. They delete the Donald. They delete fucking... I don't know. I've never been on Reddit.
They never will.
What if Reddit just fucking deleted itself?
Yeah.
Just the whole thing.
There's an idea.
Except for our subreddit.
Yeah. Reddit.com just redirects to our subreddit and nothing else is accessible.
Did you see the reason why, actually, though, that they got rid of the incel subreddit the first time around?
Yeah, they've been getting rid of it every time it pops up.
Yeah. But you know what the inciting like thing was that got rid of it?
No, I don't.
It's actually, it would be funny if it wasn't like really kind of sad, but what basically had happened was there's this guy and he was like a really popular user on the subreddit, and what he would do is he would go out to like, he would put like pictures of this really handsome guy on Tinder, right? And he'd get like women to see the picture and they'd come out and they'd come out to date, to go on like a Tinder date or whatever, and he'd show up and just start screaming about chads in the middle of the restaurant that they were in.
Jesus Christ.
And like just like yelling about, a bunch of like incel bullshit, like really loudly in wherever he was at, and he posted that so many times.
Now I wonder why this guy can't get a girlfriend.
I know, like it's completely perplexing to me as well, obviously, but the thing that was like ridiculous about that media, I guess more than just the fact that he was doing that, was it took him like 4 or 5 times of posting that before, the various women were like, this is literally harassment, please do something about this.
Yeah.
Reddit's
a fucking terrible website, and the admins are all horrible people, and it's bad.
Yeah, what else is new? Wouldn't it be nice if there was like a social media site that wasn't like run by Nazis and white supremacists?
That would be amazing. Yeah. I would love that.
It'd be really good.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, so...
Should we, get into the incel terminology just for, our listeners who might not know what the fuck we're talking about, or,
the encyclopedia, if you will?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's funny? And sorry I'm not trying to, plug my other podcast, but the first podcast episode that I ever recorded in my life was an r/the red pill and r/incel episode of Extra Credit.
Yeah.
And the glossary, legitimately, like all the terminology, we just had to keep coming back to it over and over and over because there was so much fucking nonsense bullshit. It really is like mind-blowing, the terms that they have created. It's really, really bad, it turns out, actually.
Yeah.
It sucks to read and to think about. So, like, we can talk about something else now.
Yeah. It's mostly because I don't even know shit. Like, what's a Chad exactly?
All right.
Chad Thundercock is the stereotypical meathead, muscular, cool jock that all the girls are into. He's an asshole, but everyone likes him for it.
You ever seen that meme?
And
The Virgin
Stacey's
Walk
are just
versus
like
Chad Stride.
See, I thought my understanding of Chad was like that funny comic.
Yeah, that
So
comic
it's-
is
I
what they
guess just
actually
that?
believe. Like, that's unironic.
That's what they actually believe, yes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what they legitimately believe.
Yeah, the
I mean,
Virgin
I think
versus Chad
with a lot
comic's
of
not joke.
these communities online, I think it probably started ironic to some degree, but then they just said it over and over until they accepted it as fact.
Oh yeah, like when I was
Yeah.
in high school, the Chad meme was like a thing between me and all my friends. Like we weren't like actual incels, but like because it was so fucking stupid, we all talked about it. And I'm sure like a handful of them now.
The
are
problem
all
is that
fucking...
the internet gives you irony poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I can't relate, but
Yeah. I mean, it's freaky. It's scary because like I feel like we're kind of divorced from ideologies like Nazism, where we just think, okay, those people are just monsters. But like with the whole incel thing, you can kind of see how like a movement, or not a movement, like fucking monsters online can like hijack feelings that like a lot of men have and then turn those into hate and then turn that hate into ridiculous hate and then turn it into violence.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with being like lonely. Like that's
Yeah, 'cause,
not
like,
necessarily a personality fault. It's when you turn your loneliness into like a weapon. That's when it becomes an issue.
And like the idea of like it sucks that I am like I'm not the kind of guy that women want to have sex with. Man, I wish I was one of those kinds of guys. That's a thought that like a lot of men have. Like it's just a thing that comes up, but then like it gets
especially
like
on Lesbians Day.
Especially on Lesbians Day, but it gets like snatched and like twisted into violence. I mean, so I think that's what people are unpacking now is like, holy shit, this is what radicalization is.
Yeah, essentially, if you stick anywhere with like the same kind of people who are all thinking the same things for long enough, you're gonna get some manner of horrible brain poisoning.
Yeah.
The other thing
like
that
this
gives you
podcast.
horrible brain poisoning is money.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to our
Uh,
next topic.
Is that a transition? I don't know what you're...
It's a transition topic, because...
Oh, to the one that I was supposed to be talking about.
Exactly!
I understand. Before we get into that, I just want to clarify, all lore aside, I don't actually fuck my own ass. Okay, so Kanye West is a rapper, and I guess that's basically all there is to it.
He's back on Twitter.
So let's go to question.
Yeah.
So Kanye has been tweeting up a storm lately. He just like reappeared on Twitter one day and was like doing his standard like pseudo philosophical nonsense that everybody thinks is really profound and good.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at these tweets like, hey, did everyone just forget that this guy likes Donald Trump? And then he started tweeting explicitly about how he likes Donald Trump, and everyone remembered that he likes Donald Trump and remembered that he sucks. And it was really cool to me, not to sound like egotistical and arrogant, but that everyone really just wants to forget about the fact that Kanye West is a rich shithead. And don't get me wrong,
Really want him to be good.
I would love it if he was good. Late Registration is one of my favorite albums, and enemy of the show Brooks thinks it's bad. And I miss when Kanye was good, but God, just... And I think a big part of his thing with Trump if I had to guess, if I can get kind of armchair psychologist-y, which is what people like it when you do, is that he in his life gets so much shit for his like behavior and the things that he says that are just kind of like out there. And I think that he probably sees Trump in the same way that he sees himself, just kind of misunderstood genius, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he sees someone who can like relate to him in that way, and I just that's fine, except it's not. But
I
take
think,
off the MAGA hat.
Yeah,
Please,
I think
for the
like
love
he's
of
gonna
God, take off the mega hat.
I think
think he's
also at this point he is completely divorced from reality.
I think
Like
though,
just
he'll
nothing
talk
is real to him anymore.
I think he'll talk to
I
Trump
don't
for
know.
like 10 minutes, and he'll be like, "Oh shit! Like this guy's actually a complete fucking bag of shit," and like I think this will genuinely bring him back to like some semblance of reality.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
genuinely
know. It's
believe.
just I feel weird being all like kind of pop psychologist about it, because like it feels kind of reductive to just kind of taper it down to a mental illness.
No, and that's not what I was trying to do at all.
I know. It's just that's kind of what's happening. The things
Yeah.
I like to see
Yeah.
about it are people just getting owned by their past opinions. Because there are so many like shitty alt-righters who would do nothing but make fun of Kanye West years ago, who are now just his biggest fans. And man, if Kanye West didn't like people saying the N-word at his concerts before,
God.
it's gonna be
mean,
completely different energy now.
He lost 9 million
I saw
followers.
one thing that was like screenshots
He lost
of
7.9
like,
million followers in 11 minutes.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, that was it.
Which is an astounding number.
I
But
mean,
no
like
one got owned.
that's
No one got owned harder than Jacobin or Jacobin. How do you say their
Jacobin,
name?
I think.
I've never
Jacobin,
said it
I'm
out
pretty
loud
sure.
before.
this is the Jacobin, I think.
But they
Jack
tweeted
off,
right
man.
after Kanye West came back from his Twitter hiatus that Kanye West is our greatest Marxist.
Oops. Why would you think that?
Oh,
Well,
it's French.
I mean-
Okay, Jacobin.
Also, I'm pretty sure that
Well,
what do you
that
call
would be French, Nick.
like long time long time Twitter shithead and my nickname's namesake Ian Miles Chong. I'm pretty sure he also had another one of his classic let's see what he said 3 years ago moments.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing he ever does.
It's
is
like-
say stuff that's the
like he
opposite
tweeted
of stuff
about
that he
like
used to
how
say.
Kanye was great and how now liberals were going to say they hated him, and if you look like 3 years ago he was like, man, fuck Kanye West or something. Like I don't
Yeah.
know the
But
details,
he wasn't he a liberal a few years ago?
he was I don't
Yeah.
like,
Because that was the
I don't
that
wanna
was the
dive
thing that
too
was
much
really
into
weird
the-
to me when he first started like blowing up like more recently, is that I was like trying to figure out, I was like, who is this fucking guy? And I was looking him up, and everything that I read was like, Ian Miles Chong is an SJW anti-gamergator, and I was like, what?
I don't want to.
Sorry?
I don't want to dive into like the Gamergate juice too much because I'll get really mad about it again. But basically, what happened was he was part of this sort of
It's called Mountain Dew, by the
alt-right
way, but go on.
astroturfing campaign thing called Not Your Shield,
Yeah.
where it was a bunch of people who essentially
Yeah.
posed as anti-GG people, but like and they were like also minorities and stuff, who were basically part of an astroturfing campaign to
Yeah.
sort of attack other anti-GG people, and then of course later most of them turned out to be complete shitheads who were pretending to be progressive to try to basically out-progressive the main anti-Gamergate people, and he
Yeah,
was
and
one
then
of those guys.
the other part of
Everything
that.
about Gamergate is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's
the other part of
extremely
that being,
dumb
of
and
course,
bad,
Like,
like-
the I am definitely a black person accounts.
Yeah.
Which they
Yeah,
still
that's
make
basically
so
what it is.
much of. And it's always
Yeah.
just
Well,
like
as-
the first Google result for like black man with arms crossed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, as a
What-
black
what-
man, I do think that I'm pretty okay with Gamergate, but I don't know.
What the fuck was that tweet where they literally wrote the tweet was like, my IQ is 90, which is high for a black person, or some horrible, ridiculous
God.
shit
Oh
like
my
that.
god!
Did fucking JonTron write that?
Something like that.
It was literally the first result for like black man with arms crossed too.
And it
That's
was
the word
that.
for it.
God.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he was like, he was trying
It's
to
like,
like
I'm an actual black person, and their Twitter icon is like the Obama not bad meme face. It's just me,
Oh
no
god.
filter.
Now,
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's about it for
But
that.
yeah, Kanye good. I wish he would stop, and that's basically it.
Hey! You want to talk about the best and most wrong Kanye West tweet for a second?
Here we go.
He said Bill Cosby innocent.
Wait,
seriously?
Fuck
Yeah.
what, gamers? Bill Cosby
Now what's up?
fucking guilty!
Bill Cosby convicted as fuck.
Bill Cosby convicted!
Bill Cosby rot in jail, bitch.
Bill
Wait,
Cosby
guys,
go on Charlie Rose's new TV show where he interviews
God.
victims of the Me Too movement.
Hey guys,
Now
I'm
here-
getting
okay.
a phone call. I'm getting a phone call.
Let me
here.
just say, I don't want to write off the Charlie Rose Victims of Me Too show entirely just like out of hand because now hear me out, okay?
Okay, I'm listening, but I
do
hate
think
you and
that
I'm
there is
sharpening my knife.
potential. Now hold on. I do think there's potential if the format of the show is that you get Charlie Rose and you get Louis C.K. and you get Harvey Weinstein and you bring them on and you 2.5 Men series finale them where you drop a piano on them and they die and then the show ends.
That'd be pretty good. Like, what if he interviewed all the guests at the same time in a boiling pit of oil?
Yeah. And also, while you're at it, why don't you also drop a piano on Charlie Sheen himself?
Yeah,
from 2.5
might
Men,
as
like in
well.
the show, but it wasn't for real.
Just get him right in there.
What
Yeah,
if it was
do
like
for real though?
What if it was like To Catch a Predator and like what's his face comes on? Who was the guy on To Catch a
Chris
Predator?
Hansen.
Yeah.
Chris Hansen peels off his Charlie Rose mask
Yeah. Why don't you have a seat?
and then just hits him with the
Was
cold
it Chris?
Stone
Oh
Cold
yeah.
Stunner.
I'm thinking of Chris Matthews. Shit.
Yeah.
No. Chris Hansen is right.
Just hit him with the
I'm always right.
Cold Stone Stunner.
Man, that was the wildest fucking show. Like I can't believe they made that show.
It's like weird and voyeuristic in a way that I
It
don't
is
think
very
it's like a
weird.
passport.
Yeah.
To think about
It's
now.
like- I always used to wonder, like, how the fuck does this shake out, like, legally? Like, can they do this? What can they charge people with if they do this? Like, what if they accidentally... You know what I always thought? You know what I always thought was going to happen? What if they accidentally were actually talking to, like, a 14-year-old? Like, they talked to someone online and they're like, oh, this guy's some creepy adult, but it was just some actual kid who was, like, not good at talking. And then he came to the house and they were like, fuck, this is an actual kid. What do we do now?
I mean, I feel
And
like
I
some
mean,
of
I
those things
think-
probably just happened. It's not like it
It's
was
like-
live.
I think they probably would talk to the kid and be like, "Hey, please don't do this.
It's very bad. Please
We're not
stop.
going to arrest you, but
Yeah.
please learn a lesson from this."
Please, I'm talking to your parents. Parents, please have a seat.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, it's just there's something so weird about that
It's
kind
just
of.
like, why don't you take a seat
crime
over there? And
reporting.
it's a high chair.
It's like the whole vigilante aspect of it. It makes me really uncomfortable.
It's
there was a
very
lot
weird.
of YouTubers doing that shit, and like one of
Oh,
them,
they were breaking actual investigations into sex
Yeah.
trafficking rings.
one of them blew a fucking There was like this years-long investigation operation into like a sex trafficking ring, and he fucking blew the whole thing. And they were like, "You absolute idiot! Like what? Like he."
To Catch a Predator did?
No. This
like
was
a
one of those
YouTube
fucking
copycat.
He like
Oh
yeah,
shit!
and yeah, like blew the entire
Like a
investigation.
social
it was
experiment asshole.
Yeah,
no, they would
basically.
just they would just pretend to be like kids online, and then the guys would show up and they'd like yell at them and shit like that. But like and it's like it's just this voyeuristic vigilante justice, which is like I feel like doesn't quite line up with like the way things should be done.
Yeah.
God.
Like if you're gonna talk about like good ways to write about crime, you look at like Michelle McNamara novels,
Yeah,
because she
Guess
did
who
it,
they caught?
basically. It's my transition right there, my really awkward transition.
So yeah, I was very. I don't know anything about the what is it, Golden State
Golden
Killer?
State
Is that
Killer.
what they call him?
yeah. Also
I had-
known
I
as
had
the
never
original
heard of him
Night Stalker,
before.
also known as the East Area Rapist,
Was he this? How long ago was this?
like
the mid 70s.
yeah, like 40
Okay.
40 plus years
Mhm.
at this point.
Jesus, I heard that they caught him with like Ancestry.com DNA testing or
Yeah,
something.
that was
Yeah.
I was gonna cover that just in a sec. I was gonna cover that afterwards, but yeah, like basically they got one of his relatives on who'd put their DNA on there and then made a match, and then essentially like they matched with the DNA evidence, like a partial, and then
Yeah.
essentially just looked at that guy's relatives and made the match based
Jesus
on that.
Christ.
Which, like, okay,
This
They
is how
caught a guy who has been at large for 40 plus years, but in a way that makes like almost like just completely astounding amounts of overreach into private data.
Yeah.
So like you win some, you lose some, I guess.
This is how they caught BTK, I think. They actually followed him and stole some of his DNA and then tested it, and then that's how they caught him.
Well, see, that's at least a direct investigation.
Yeah.
Because, like, with this one, it's like a relative of his happened to use an Ancestry website.
It would be pretty funny, though, if the Golden State Killer and Bill Cosby shared a cell for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And that cell was also under the ocean.
Yeah.
Now,
And
do you
it
mean
wasn't a
like
cell,
like
they're
a
just
shark
tied to the
cage,
ocean
or do you
floor.
mean like a secret underwater base?
No, just like an open cage dropped into the water.
Okay.
Apparently, he was very surprised when they arrested him at his house, and I wish there was like a camera
I mean,
there.
I would be surprised if I got arrested 50 years late too.
Yeah, like just like I would have loved to have been there because like we got you. Thought you got away with
there
it.
was like
How
a
did this
closing
happen?
statement. There was a closing statement in.
Wait, was he a cop?
He was.
Yeah.
He was a cop. Yeah.
Jesus.
While he was doing it, too.
I have to make this point very clear. He was a cop until he was caught shoplifting hammers and dog repellent.
Yep.
Huh.
And
That's
then
not
he said,
suspicious at all.
they said basically, we're going to have to fine you for this and you're losing your job, basically. And then he's like, I quit. And so then they didn't investigate it because he quit. And that's why that
Well, it's
never
good
went
to know that
any
there is
further.
something that can get you fired from the police.
Right? Yeah.
Didn't-
But like, they were saying it was on. I'm trying to remember what it was on. It was on some television late night show. I've watched a lot of stuff about this. It might have been Patton Oswalt actually, because Patton Oswalt was married to Michelle McNamara before she passed like a year and a half ago. And he was on Seth Meyers to talk about AP Bio, the show he's on with Glenn Howerton. And then, like, the Golden State Killer was captured, and that was, like, his wife's last thing. He did, like, a lot of pushing to try to get her book finished and published, and it was published, like, a week ago. Like,
Jesus.
like the timing is amazing.
So, wait, so is it a coincidence, or was he caught because of stuff that was in her book?
I
feel like the
imagine-
book came out too recently.
I think it might have come out too recently. But,
Yeah.
like, her talking about the book and the press of the book and recent documentaries and stuff had all been renewing interest in the case. I don't know how recently it had been like reinvestigated, but like it is spectacular timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking terrifying whenever I think about the fact that there are like serial killers who are still like nobody has ever figured out who they were.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not a good
Zodiac's
thing.
probably dead. I think that's the consensus now. Is like he's probably
Or, like, he's
dead
probably
by now.
Ted Cruz. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And it's just so weird to think that there was this guy just like living his life around other people. Oh god, that's so fucking terrifying to think about.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you start thinking about stuff like this where what can catch a guy like this other than like a force dedicated to stopping crime? I always have a lot of problems with shit like this when it gets to like this level of just pure villainy.
Yeah.
Mind you, he was a cop himself, so what the fuck? Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel like
We
that's...
love our cops, our law enforcement, we love our military, they're important.
I remember
don't know, can
Brooks saying something like the only good cops are the ones that catch serial killers, and that was after like that serial killer who was like in his town was caught. So like, I mean, that's a sentiment, I guess. Like,
I don't know. If I can talk about cops like super quick, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
On this podcast? Hell no.
On HKIP, no way. Anyways, what I wanted to sort of say about like cops, I feel like that's a common I think misunderstanding, like not you guys necessarily, but people who might be listening might have about sort of the cops thing is.
Yeah.
I don't think the whole leftist anti-cop stance necessarily has anything to do with the idea of leftists like crime or anything like that.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's got obviously a lot more to do with the way that cops don't usually do things like this. They usually are the ones doing the murdering rather than the ones stopping it.
yeah.
And like obviously, if cops just did like stopping murders and stuff like that and didn't, enforce capitalist property relations and do racism all the time, there wouldn't be a problem with them, and I think that's kind of the thing. Like, I don't think it's a contradiction at all to say like this is good that this happened, but it doesn't make cops or even that particular cop who caught him any better, or the position in general any better.
It's more like I guess like they wouldn't be like these all holy arbiters of all things in society, but rather they'd be like, an investigative unit charged with this entire separate thing. Yeah. And not most of the things.
If they just killed pedophiles, that would be fine. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah, that's good. Like, that part's good. Like, it's all the other stuff that's the problem.
Yeah.
Man, I saw the other day, and maybe this is going to be too upsetting, so let me know if I need to hit the eject button on this. But my friend was posting some shit from, I guess, the new discourse on Tumblr, or maybe it's not new, but I hadn't seen it before, was like no map positivity, which stands for non-offending minor attracted people.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It was very bad to see.
Yeah, I did indeed also see that, because...
And they were like, no map of the day, Steven Universe, or something like that.
What?
I don't
Whenever
know.
I see shit like that on Tumblr, like, it almost always seems to turn out that it's someone, like, some 4chan edgelord that's just trying to make, like, social justice look bad.
Maybe, but...
But, like, with that one, there was too much about it.
I mean, that is the term no map is something I haven't seen before, but the sentiment is unfortunately something I have seen before.
Yeah, that's what I was following up with. Yeah, like there's...
Yeah, I remember getting really mad about this, like, in high school when I was, like, an anti-SJW back in high school. I remember seeing, like, people talking about this sort of thing, and in retrospect, should have been obvious to me that it was, like, a plant. But, like, I remember getting really mad about this. Has been around forever, like, people from 4chan, like, that whole... Was it Clover or something like that?
Yeah, like Clover.
I recognize that name, yeah.
That.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, Clover was a thing.
It was essentially another, like, pedophile identity thing. But the fact that it was called Clover was a big 4chan tip-off.
Yeah, they're trying to make it like...
sounds like it.
They're trying to make it like LGBTQP, like to add pedophiles to the fucking...
Yeah. Okay, that's not real.
That was their thing.
Let's move on. Let's move on to a very good question we have in our inbox.
All right.
I gotta look at the questions.
Yeah, are we going to questions now?
We can go to questions because we have so many this week. You can send us questions at hkipgtd.tumblr.com, or you can send them to us on Twitter, but we will usually forget to read those.
There's none on the Twitter right now, I just checked.
Are we going to forget to read them this time, now that you've brought it up?
No, we're not, because, well, there's none there, but it's fine.
Perfect.
But yeah, how many ways are there to love a cat?
2.
I read that in Paul Simon's voice.
Yeah, there's 2. One legal way and one illegal way.
You can pet them and you can feed them. Thank you.
Well, I'm just going to answer this in song. There are 100 ways to love a
we
cat.
don't have that. We don't have time. We don't have time for this.
I forgot about
we
that.
We don't have time for this.
You don't have 35 minutes?
No.
What are your unpunchable jams? For anyone who does not listen to podcast Punch Up the Jam, even though it has been recommended on this podcast more than once, an unpunchable jam is a jam that you don't think could be fixed. So essentially, a more fun way of saying your favorite song. Just choose one. Everyone.
The podcast Punch Up the Jam. Let me go to my last FM that I'm still using and see what my most played song is right now.
Is that still up?
I'm just gonna butt in and say...
I use it constantly.
I'm gonna say Gemini Birthday Song by Y.
Yeah.
That
Good
to
pick.
me is unpunchable.
As someone who eats a DQ Blizzard minimum one time a week, I do think of the line... Wait, no, that's a different song, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't. I know the one line you're talking about, though.
What line is that song?
Rubber.
I think you're thinking of a commercial.
Rubber Traits.
Oh, yeah.
90%.
I'm just
I
gonna
think
cut
that's
it.
Rubber
my
Traits.
most played song and therefore unpunchable jam is "Handmade Home" by Seiko Omori. Thank you.
I'm gonna go with my standard pick, which is Atlas by Battles.
Oh shit! That's
my
Now that's a
song.
good fucking song.
It's been my most played song pretty consistently since 2007.
That's what's cool about Atlas is that it really is a song that it could just go on forever, and I don't think I would ever like want it to end.
It sounds very procedurally generated because it is made with like analog looping stuff. When I saw Battles live, I don't remember which of the two of the non-drummers does the actual like electronics and looping stuff, but they were having trouble with it because it's very hard to time because the song is just a lot. And
it's a fucking good song.
It's really good. I do wish Tyondai Braxton put out more music. Even though like Battles has still put out good stuff without him, his voice was really like a fundamental part of that song for me. It's a good song.
It was my first math rock tune.
Did we get from Linus?
Linus, what do you got?
My Unpunchable jam. I mean, when Humble first came out, I kind of like got down to it and then forgot about it the way that I forget about a lot of new songs. But like since he just won the Pulitzer for like I think the first time the Pulitzer has ever been awarded to an album that wasn't like jazz or classical.
Yeah.
I've kind of been revisiting that whole album and just like it's such a fucking good song. Like every second of Humble is just so good.
It's really good, and the video's
Humble is very good.
But I just saw like a lot of milquetoast white people who've never cared about the Pulitzer getting mad about it. But then I saw an article that was like, here's what jazz and classical composers who are up for the Pulitzer this year think of Kendrick Lamar's win, and it was like uniform positivity. Because like the kind
of that's weird because I think that Damn is not a very good album, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
and
yeah,
now that
like
I've said mine. Let's move on before anyone else says theirs.
Yeah,
it's his third best album, but like
it is.
I think he gets a lot of essentially the critical praise that hip hop as a genre should be getting in general.
Mm-hmm.
But like white people don't have the attention span to pay attention to more than one black person at a time.
Yeah.
So they just give everything to Kendrick Lamar. It's also like just kind of like the.
Well, you know why they can do that now is because Obama's not president, so they have a.
Yeah, exactly. They have another black person
space
to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But like it's a very like, when the Grammys gives their consolation Grammy to a band that they should have given to like 3 albums ago, and.
The Grammys are so fucking stupid.
Remember
when they gave
totally
a Grammy to that Beck
shit,
album
though.
that nobody liked?
They which?
I think it was Beck got the Grammy for that album that nobody liked.
No one gave a shit about that album.
Because they just give Grammys to like indie artists just to like make a point about like see?
Like for 1 second it looked like Kanye was going to storm the stage again and then he didn't.
Wait, which was that the year that Macklemore also won the best rap album?
Sure was.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Oh.
I think the best thing that's ever happened with the Grammys though was when The Suburbs by Arcade Fire won Best Album, and everybody was like, who are the Suburbs? Fuck the Suburbs. And there was some band called The Suburbs that was like, please.
They're a new wave band from Minneapolis, and they put out an album last year, and it's good. Because my friend David lives in Minneapolis, and he's always like the guy who sends me Minneapolis bands. And he's like, oh, The Suburbs are totally a band from Minneapolis. And so I got some of their music, and it's pretty decent stuff.
Good for them. But fuck them for winning a Grammy.
Yeah, who the fuck are The Suburbs? Who's even... I honestly can't even remember who was up for an album that year, and I'm not going to look it up. I refuse.
Hey, speaking of things we're not going to do, we should probably not talk about this question anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're on questions.
How confused can you make the American present in the next 30 seconds? Guys, we gotta make Sam as confused as possible.
Thanks. Have you been reading names of people who send these questions in?
I have not. The first one was anonymous. The second one was the Unpunchable Gems question was by TaxZ, TaxZ. And how confused can you make the Americans?
I'm confused. What is that last thing you're saying? What is Zed?
How confused can you make the Americans present in the next 30 seconds was sent by a friend of the show, Alex Leafcrunch. You know how the last letter of the alphabet is Z?
It's Zed.
That's
okay. We move on. Give them
also healthcare.
Who is the least unfuckable right-wing media personality by Akumioi? Bad question. Don't like to think about it. They're all unfuckable.
Alex Jones.
Unfuckable James.
No,
I didn't-
unfuckable.
Okay,
Release
so
unfuckable what now? Sorry.
So that means like the most fuckable.
Right-wing media personality.
Oh, the most fuckable right wing.
Oh, okay, no, the most fuckable. Okay.
The most fuckable.
Still Alex Jones.
Yeah, still Alex Jones.
It's got to be Prison
Probably,
Paul to me.
Kellyanne Conway.
Sorry.
I mean, Betsy DeVos. Shit.
I hate this.
All right.
Question
Next
from
question.
Maxie Satan, friend of the show. Hey gang, when y'all become successful and it inevitably goes to your heads, how are you planning to betray your fan base and obliterate your legacy? By aligning with liberals, aligning with reactionaries, pushing a really shitty leftist tendency, or just being generally unpleasant? The last one, because we're already doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually,
yeah,
plan to
if I'm
become-
ever famous, I'm going to be like a famous actor, so I'll just post the most blandest, like, liberal centrist takes on Twitter.
I'm going to align with reactionaries. Sorry.
I'm actually gestating
which
in
kind
the
of
future right now to
reactionaries?
become the kind of guy who starts supporting the DPKR all the time on Twitter.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely my stance. I'm going to become one of those hardcore DJ guys.
Oh, God.
Great.
All right.
It's
Looking
horrible.
forward to it.
Do we want to answer more? I feel like this episode's a good length already.
It's
Yeah.
almost an hour long now.
Hasn't anyone noticed this episode sucks?
It's okay. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
It just needs a
this
bit of
isn't
light
bad.
editing.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm good with ending it. I just feel like the momentum's gone.
Yeah.
Before we stop, I think the one other thing it definitely needs is at least one person to say, so there, I've done it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I know, bring us out. Actually, you know what? Wait, we started this like 15 minutes in, didn't we? How long is your guys'
Yeah.
recordings right now?
Almost an hour.
58 minutes.
Yeah, 58 minutes.
I guess we're close.
Yeah.
I don't mind having a sub-hour episode, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like busting for a piss, so can we please stop?
Yeah, Sam,
Yeah.
bring us out.
I guess that's gonna do it for us. Were we doing Lightbringers this week?
Oh, yeah, I guess we could still do those.
Yeah, let's do
Those
that
are
real quick.
nice.
Yeah.
Everyone take a hot second to think of a Lightbringer.
Well, I've really been getting into putting my penis in my butt.
Do you have a serious one, or can I go first?
Yeah, but go first.
I guess we got Lightbringers. My Lightbringer this week is Topper's Pizza, because I'm eating Topper's Pizza right after I'm done recording this podcast, because there's some sitting right in front of me. Topper's Pizza is a chain that Americans may be familiar with, but it's not the same
I'm
one.
confused.
There's a Topper's Pizza chain in Sudbury, Ontario, which started in the early 80s. They make good-ass pizza.
What are you doing?
It's called Toppers because his name was Toppazini, and that's fucking good.
It's a good-ass name.
Are they paying you?
I fucking wish. They should be.
I get paid $5 every time I say Topper's Pizza on the podcast.
I just really like their pizza. If you guys are ever in Ontario, try Topper's Pizza.
Didn't you win free Topper's Pizza through Facebook or something?
I did. That was when they were giving out free pizzas, literally for just having the most likes on your post. So I just posted on my Tumblr and got everyone to go like my shitty jokes.
Oh man, social media is great.
Yeah, it's good.
That's like the proto Wendy's chicken nuggets or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
Here,
fuck
can I go
that
next?
kid. Didn't he get on fucking Ellen or some shit? I
Yeah.
feel like he did.
I don't know. I think he won a Shorty Award.
God, did anyone see the video of Adam Pally
Yes.
presenting at the
Yes.
Shorties?
He was so fucking mad. It was amazing.
His soul was leaving his fucking body. Honestly, that's my real Lightbringer, is that video.
I've never seen an awards presenter say that it's the worst day of his life before.
Yeah, everyone, please find the video of Adam Pally presenting at the Shorties. I'm retroactively calling that my real Lightbringer. As much as I do love Topper's Pizza, this is something that you guys can actually
there goes our
experience.
funding for this podcast
Yeah.
because Toppers is not paying for this anymore. Then.
Yeah.
My Lightbringer this week is Topper's Pizza because I'm also going to be eating some after I'm done this episode.
3 hosts in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, with Topper's Pizza.
This episode fucking brought to you by Topper's Pizza.
This
I'm gonna break
inscrutable
with
mess
the-
of garbage brought to you by Topper's Pizza.
I'm gonna be breaking with
Toppers.
the
It's an inscrutable mess of garbage.
with our the line here that's been developed, and I'm not gonna say Topper's Pizza. My genuinely sincere Lightbringer is just the lack of university happening right now.
Oh, it's so good.
Evan
Could somebody
finished
please-
school for the year.
Yep, I'm finished school for the year, which means I can actually do the good podcast again, which I know everyone ironically
You're on another
talks about.
podcast?
I was about to say, I know everyone ironically talks about this like podcast is terrible and bad, but I genuinely really enjoy doing it, and I'm glad to be back on.
I mean, this week is definitely
Yeah.
bad, but that's fine.
Yeah, but besides that, like normally it's good. I mean, the last episode I was on was fucking Garfield Secret Patreon Comics or whatever, which is a great title, but it's also been a long time. So seriously, like genuinely, just the lack of university is currently that's my bringing light into my life.
Speaking of great titles, shout out to fucking the last episode title is so fucking good.
It's really fucking
The
good.
fillet, what is it like? The fellatio of the
The
coward.
Fellatio
Marilyn
of Marilyn Manson by the coward Marilyn Manson. That's so fucking good. My Lightbringer is Topper's Pizza, Canada. No, my Lightbringer. I feel like my Lightbringer is like almost always like music, but whatever. If you know me at all, and from my Unpunchable Jam earlier, you know that I'm a fucking loser who like all the music I listen to is like Japanese shit. But my fave right now is Manatsu Nagahara and her sometimes band Sebastian X. It's just so fucking like fun and like uplifting and just fucking good, and her voice is like ridiculously good. And man, I don't know if it's been coming through like that I'm kind of in anxiety time. It's good, and man, that's been helping with that. So that's mine. Thank you.
Well, there we go.
Anyone else love having bad brain?
I absolutely love to have a bad brain.
But you know,
Let's say
sometimes you just have to sit down and record a podcast.
yeah, that's really all you have to do. I mean, at least I didn't forget to take my meds today, because I did that last week, and hoo boy.
Yeah,
Hoo
gotta
boy.
take those meds.
Just not good. Not a good time.
Yeah. My Lightbringer is destigmatizing mental illness.
Yeah, I love my meds, my venlafaxine. I love my antidepressants there. I'm trying to make a We Love Our Cops
Importee.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
I
working.
picked up on that. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I still think my idea has merit of making like a medicine that's like Advil for your mental health. Because like that's something I need sometimes, but
Well,
I
just
don't
like
know
a
if that...
pick-me-up that you don't have to remember to take every day?
Yeah, like you don't take it every day, but if you're in a lot of pain, then yeah, you take a pill and it makes you feel a little better.
I think you're describing marijuana.
Nick Jagged in the chat says Sadville, which is a very good name.
That's good.
Yeah.
And Fruit Selector says that's literally just weed.
Yeah, well, I can't smoke weed when I'm having a bad brain. Then it'll just make it worse. I don't know what weed y'all are getting that makes your brain problems not like fucking exponentially increase, but
Well, when I'm due weed,
You don't.
I get that sweet perp drink,
Sam, that's a different
And it's-
thing.
I'm drinking
and it's
scissor.
sticky. It's so sticky,
You know, I tried that once. It's
And I
not
can't-
great.
and I can't stop touching it because it's so sticky, and it gets stuck to everything.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
So if you liked all of the things that I just said, patreon.com/HKIPGTT. $1 gets you any of our bonus content, Lightbringers, mailbags that we have to start doing now because you fucking weirdos keep giving us more money.
I can't believe it.
Please stop, or else I'm
$5
going
gets-
to fucking die. I am absolutely the
gets you a
first host that's going to get killed.
Yeah.
I still say it's probably going to be
$5 gets you a shout out on the podcast, so shout out to our subscribers. And I don't know if we've said this before. If we pronounce your names wrong, just message us and we'll
Let me just
apologize
start
and keep
off
pronouncing them wrong.
by saying Alex Schaup, David Besser, and Stephanie Ruff.
I get those.
Yeah, but I wanted to say
Gene
them.
Lee, Gene Lee, the artist formerly known as Smokeweed, Paige Messer, Alex Schaup, Nick Jagged, David Besser, D. Janays, Jordan Haugen, Charlotte Wormington, Pregnant Seinfeld, Benjamin Kingstone Faria, Scout Shiro, Nick Petazzoni, Evan Lowe, Brett Houtz, Stephanie Ruff, Ollie Anders, Ellen Nordhawk. Thank you, all of you are the best.
Thank you so much for giving us money for this.
Thank you.
It is currently in a PayPal account, and we're figuring out what to do with money.
I was thinking probably just, like, buy some weed.
I mean, we could all just buy some weed. That'd be good. That'd be good, actually.
I'm so sorry for everything that I've said in this episode.
Says, exchange it for goods and services.
Anyway, you can find us online. Twitter.com/HKIPGTD, HKIPGTD.tumblr.com, Facebook.com/HKIPGTD. We also have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/HKIPGTD. Thank you to Punch Drunk Bisexual for setting that up for us. We'd also like to thank the Taxpayers for the use of
That's still not it. That's still not their name. Bisexual Punch Party.
Damn it! Did someone else say that last week and that's why it's in my head?
Luna says it every time.
God damn it, Luna's brain poisoned incepted me. And thank you for the Taxpayers for the use of their song Evil Men, which you could get wherever good music is sold, but also they give away most of their music for free on Bandcamp. So just go check out the Taxpayers on Bandcamp, because they rule.
Does anyone else on this podcast ever almost say thank you to the Taxpayers for their song Evil Men off the album Putting the Days to Bed?
I almost always do, yes. That's why I don't say the album.
The McElroys are the real
album
brain
is
poison.
Cold Hearted Town, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's it. That has been it for Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die. Not a threat.
Just a fact.
Just a fact. I hope you've enjoyed our final episode.
Memento Pokemori.
Memento Pokemori.
Memento Pokemori.
We like pizza in the morning. We like pizza every day. We like pizza in the evening. We like pizza anyway. I like pizza, pepperoni, mozzarella and anchovy. I like pizza with salami, eggs and cheese and oregano. I like